Hey everybody, it's Theresa here of Black and Design. Welcome back to my 2019 Project Life album. This is the layout that I will be sharing with you today. It's a layout from the middle of April. It's about week 16, and it's a trip that we took to Gatlinburg, Tennessee for our spring break. And so I'm going to do something a little bit different today. I'm going to share my digital process first for creating this layout, for designing and printing my photos, and then we'll take it over to my desktop or my worktop and create the physical portion of this layout. So I am using the print to pocket action number 1 that I designed to help easily design and print your pocket pages. And so first I'm going to go in and edit my photos. And something that I'm doing differently today is this panoramic photo. So, of course, Gatlinburg, Tennessee is in the Great Smoky Mountains. So lots of beautiful views, lots of scenery to photograph. And you'll notice that I took a panoramic photo and divided it into 2 pockets. And I just copy and paste. I edit it to 12 by 4 size first, and then copy and pasted it into both of those pockets and lined them up. And then I added my other photos to the template as well. And I'm going to run the action, which is what I'm doing right now. And then after I run the action, I always check the borders and the placement of the photos and make sure everything looks like I want it to, and then save each image. And so the action asks you to save automatically, and then if some of the margins aren't quite right, you can overwrite that save file. And then once you've done the left-hand side, you can run the action for the right-hand side and check out the borders and make sure everything looks the way you want it to. And then the layout is ready to print. That action will leave you with 12 4x6 printable images that you can print at home, or you can send out to your favorite printer. So I shared yesterday a video about how I made the product choices for this layout. And I'm moving to my worktop now with everything printed, and I am working with the Pinkfresh Studio Out and About collection. There's one thing that Pinkfresh does really well, and that's travel collections. And so I hope you'll go back and watch that video that I shared yesterday. If you haven't yet, I'll link it below. And of course, it will be in the blog post that's linked below as well. And so what I'm doing here is just cutting out those journaling cards that I had talked about wanting to use in the cut apart sheet from that collection. And then basically some of the other pattern papers that I chose to create journaling cards with. And so if I know that I'm going to use a collection, a traditional scrapbooking collection for a pocket page, I choose the patterns that I want to use as journaling cards, and then I typically cut the 4-inch strip across the top and a couple of 3x4s and a 4x6 card, and that way you have the choice of the front or the back, which makes traditional scrapbooking products very flexible for pocket pages and easy to change your mind or work out how you want it to look on your page. And so you can see here that I've got the base cards ready to go. I've sort of alternated here. There's mint, and there's the coral and pink, and there's grays and yellows and black and white. And so those are repeated on both sides of the page. I typically alternate journaling card, patterned paper, photo, pattern paper. And then that's the pattern on the left-hand side for the 3x4 cards. And then for the right-hand side for the 3x4 cards, it's pattern paper, photo, pattern paper, and black and white or primarily text card. I really like using black and white elements and journaling cards in these layouts, just to add a little punch. Every layout needs a little black. So for my title, the photo here of the mountain scenery is going to serve as the title card here. And so I decided to use the alphabet to add the word Gatlinburg. And notice here how it's off-centered. And so I'm going to balance that by adding another something at the end of the word, so that it doesn't look off. Because right now it looks off balance. There's more letters on the left-hand side than the right-hand side. So I added a little yellow puffy sticker. Again, it was a chance to add another color and repeat another color from the layout. And a really fun way to do that title there. So I'm going to jump right in here with the journaling card. That Go card was one of my favorites in the kit. So I just wrote a little bit about where we were and what we were doing. And then moving along here, and I wanted to incorporate some of these tags. These tags, not only are they incredibly eye-catching, but they're just well designed and great punches of color here with these tags. And they're just awesome to include here in this layout. They're perfectly sized for a 3x4 card. You can cut them in half, you can trim off parts of them, you can staple them, tie strings to them. Just really a lot of possibilities there. So I simply layered that one onto the gray pattern paper and then stapled the tag and added my journaling. And I also added the little puffy geotag just to give it a little bit of dimension as well. And this side really came together very easily if you know what it is that you want to see. So I know that I want to do some pattern papers. I know that I want some black and white, right? I have a list of things that I sort of check off for each pocket page. And when you get familiar with your process and you know the things that you like, then you're able to transfer that pretty easily into a physical page. And I feel like that's what happened here. An excellent product collection that had some flexible options here and made it really easy to put the layout together. And so I'm just going to finish up this page and I'll tell you a little bit about what we did in Gatlinburg. The first day we were there, we arrived in town and we just checked out this strip and just went walking to see what we could see and what we could find. And so we made friends with these bear statues and we found the most amazing candy shop ever in the whole wide world. And of course, we found our cabin, and the photo here that's on the lower right-hand side of the layout, that is our view from our cabin. So we stayed in an Airbnb, and it was actually a really wonderful experience. It was nice to have a home to come home to instead of worrying about a hotel and stuff like that. Especially with 4 kids, they were able to hang out and be a little bit more relaxed, and we really enjoyed the cabin that we stayed at. We also went to Dollywood, and so I've included a couple of photos from Dollywood on this side. This photo here that I'm embellishing is of Alan and 3 of the kids. They rode the water rampage. It's like a big giant inner tube that goes down the lazy river. So they rode that, and I got a couple of really good photos from that. And so, of course, I'll share the rest of our journey in the next layout as well. But moving through the process here, so this yellow and white pattern, again, makes a great base card to layer elements onto. And I've layered another tag here, and I trimmed off the top of it just to use the journaling space here. And so you can see that I'm going to add some stamps to these little lines here. The stamps that I'm using are from the Citrus Twist May 2019 excursion kit, and the May add-on stamps that were also available for the month of May from Citrus Twist. And they were that was just a fun tag to stamp on and add some additional word art to. And of course, it follows the color scheme, so it introduces more of the green, and it also repeats the yellow here as well. And you can see the journaling card that ties it all together is the card in the lower right hand corner with the dotted lines and the travel icons. And when I trimmed that journaling card out, I trimmed it intentionally to allow a nice amount of space for the journaling on that card. And so I'll just add my journaling, and that's really all that I did with that card. And here is another really simple way to create a journaling card using traditional scrapbooking products, and that is to just layer white cardstock over a portion of the pattern paper and stamp lines. And I'm going to add just this little banner here. That banner had two pop dots, so I removed one of the pop dots and just adhered it with my tape runner just to remove a little bit of that bulk. But that, again, repeats the other colors that are included in the kit on top of the layer of the mint green. So this is one of the easiest ways to create journaling cards and a favorite. I usually keep some blank 3x4 cards or off-cut cardstock on my desk so that it's easy to reach exactly for journaling cards like that, where I just want to layer a bit and add my journaling to a bit of pattern paper. And of course, you can do that with digital journaling collections as well. It's just the fastest way to get some more space for journaling. And so you can see here where I'm just adding the journaling to this card. I really loved the combination of this pattern paper and how they incorporated the icons onto the paper and the dotted lines. Of course, you knew I was going to use the dotted lines for the journaling here. So it all just came together really easily. This stamp set here is an older one from Studio Calico, designed by One Little Bird, Peppermint Granberg. I have used this stamp set so many times, and it's so incredibly flexible and classic and usable. So I've stamped in the sky on that photo, and then I'm going to add just a little cardstock sticker on top of that stamped sentiment. And then with that, I think that the layout is almost done. I'm just stepping back here and recognizing that I want to do something with that black and white card on the far right hand side. So I'm going to layer here. I feel like I have a pretty good amount of journaling on the page, so I'm going to layer a couple of elements, and I'm just trying out to see. This is one last opportunity to repeat color again And so I decided to add another pop of yellow, and that creates a visual triangle with the yellow tag and the yellow go on the left hand side, and then a little yellow circle here and another pop of coral on top. And so that's our layout for today. Thanks so much for joining me, and I hope that you will like and comment down below, and be sure to subscribe to my channel, hit the notification button so that you know when I post fresh content, and I will see you back here again soon. Thanks again for watching. Bye-bye.